So, ito na po yung ating teaching night, no? Every end of the month, Friday. So, alam niyo po ba yung ating team servants, no? For this year. Pinapatugtog ko kanina, naririnig niyo po ba yung tinutugtog na kanina, no? Be watchful, stand firm in your faith. Be courageous, ano pa yun? Be strong, let all love you be done in love. Yun nga po, courageous eh. Kaya po yung ating teaching night o ito pong topic, related po doon sa ating team, no, for being courageous. At ito nga po yung na-invite ko is yung kanilang tawag na ito, samahan or yung kanilang advocacy is Courage Philippines, no? Actually, paano ko ba nakilala yun? Si Brother Edwin, no? Yung aking, actually talagang nakilala siya yung, I don't know if he is the founder or siguro mamaya later they will explain, no? So, Brother Edwin, so una siya po yung talagang in-invite ko, matagal na. But now, because of meron yatang change of leadership or something like that, so I was referred, no, to them. So for that, I would like to introduce them na. Who are them? Who are they? So dalawa po yung tayong speaker ngayon. So we are very blessed, no? Beyond bounds. So ang una nating introduce ko si Brother um, Marco J. Welling. Ito ay isa siyang electronics engineer. Wow, by profession. Born in Manila but grew up and studied at Cagayan de Oro. Bisaya man siguro ni. He had a, he had a conversion experience around 2012 when he encountered the love of Jesus in Feast of Nazareno. Kaya, Nazareno pala to. And in Baclaran Church. Yan, mga deboto. He resolved to serve God in the church. He joined Legion of Mary. Marian pala to. As a lay minister and Courage around 2016 and is now serving as a servant leader for evangelization, you know. So, yan. And then yung ating next speaker, introduce ko na rin po, pangalan niya, no? Siya is celebrating his feast together with Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel. So, he is a 32-year-old professional working in the IT industry. No?
Magandang gabi po.
He was baptized as a Catholic on August 18, 1991. Birthday mo ba yan, bro? And he was confirmed in the faith June 1, 2017. Babago pa lang ha. He likes playing volleyball, badminton, working, reading, and listening to theological and philosophical subjects. Talagang bago sa magpare. He joined Courage 2016 and has been an active member ever since. No, he is now serving as servant leader general. Parang ano pala to ni Tito Frank. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor or the mic, no, the Brother Rafael and Brother Marcos. So give them your hearts and thumbs or clap dyan, virtual. Thank you po. Take it away.
Thank you po, Sir Jerome. So, kwento ko lang din po. Nirefer nga po kami ni Brother Edwin. Si Edwin po yung ninong ko from Courage din po. Nung na-confirm ako noong June 2017. Nag-text po si Sir Jerome and na-introduce niya rin po yung Servants of the Lord and MFC. And ayun po, kaya po kami nandito. And nagagalak po kami na pinanood din po namin yung iba niyong teaching night, lalo yung about spiritual warfare. And nagagalak po kami na makita na matuto din po dun sa teaching night niyo at sa interest niyo rin po sa spiritual warfare. Um, Ayun, good evening po. Mag-share po ako ng screen. Ah, saglit lang
Hindi ko
po.
pa pala nasabi yung title ng ating ano no, topic. So yung topic pala is Courage PH or Courage Philippines, a Catholic apostolate for persons with same-sex attraction in pursuit of chastity. This is very timely topic and we will, yeah, so I'll let it back po to Brother Ram.
Mm. Salamat po, Sir Jerome. So ito nga po yung topic namin. Kami po ay galing sa Courage Philippines. Yung mga miyembro po nitong apostolate po nito nakakaranas po ng same-sex attraction. Kung sa secular world po, mas makikilala niyo po kaming mga tao bilang gay, lesbian, or bading, or mga ganun pong labels. Pero sa talk, matututunan din po natin yung tinuturo po ng church tungkol doon sa experience po na yun. Ako po ulit si Rap. Yung testimony ko po, ihahalo ko na lang din sa next slides. Kung paano ko po naranasan personally yung tawag ng Panginoon, tulad niyo din po. So, tuloy ko lang po. Pero bago po pala yun, magbabasa po muna ako nitong Parable of the Good Samaritan since ano naman po siya, salita siya ng Panginoon. And ano po, isa rin po to sa mga tinuturo din po namin kapag nagbibigay ng talk sa mga humihingi po ng talk. Ayun po. So, from Luke chapter 10 verses 29 to 37. Yung Tagalog po babasahin ko. Upang huwag siyang lumabas na kahiya-hiya, nagtanong pa ang lalaki, "Sino naman ang aking kapwa?" Sumagot si Jesus, "May isang taong naglalakbay mula sa Jerusalem papuntang Jericho. Hinarang siya ng mga tulisan, kinuha pati ang damit sa kanyang katawan, binugbog at iniwang halos patay na. Nagkataong dumaan doon ang isang paring Hudyo. Nang makita ang taong nakahandusay, lumihis siya at nagpatuloy sa kanyang paglakad. Dumaan din ang isang Levita, ngunit nang makita niya ang taong binugbog, lumihis din ito at nagpatuloy sa kanyang paglakad. Ngunit may isang Samaritanong naglalakbay na napadaan doon. Nakita niya ang biktima at siya'y naawa. Nilapitan niya ito, binuhusan ng langis at alak ang mga sugat at binendahan. Pagkatapos, ang lalaki ay isinakay ng Samaritano sa kanyang asno at dinala ito sa bahay panuluyan upang maalagaan doon. Kinabukasan, binigyan niya ng 2 salaping pilak ang may-ari ng bahay panuluyan at sinabi, "Heto, alagaan mo siya at kung higit pa riyan ang iyong magagastos, babayaran ko sa aking pagbalik." At nagtanong si Jesus, "Sa palagay mo, sino kaya sa 3 ang naging tunay na kapwa ng taong hinarang ng mga tulisan?" Ang taong tumulong sa kanya, tugon ng abogado. Kaya't sinabi sa kanya ni Jesus, "Sige, ganoon din ang iyong gawain." Ang salita ng Diyos.
Salamat sa Diyos.
Ayun po. Bale, nagsisimula po yung talk ng courage din po sa ganitong parabola na kwento din po ni Jesus para po ma-shift po yung mindset natin na kung sino lang din po yung lagi nating kasama, na sila lang din po yung tutulungan natin. Pero kung sino po actually yung mas tumutulong sa kanyang kapwa, yun po ang sumusunod sa utos at sa ehemplo at sa parabola ng Panginoon na siya po yung kapwa. Siya po yung ah, kapwa sa kung sino man po. Um, lahat po tayo bilang mga tao, tayo po ay nakakaranas ng kasugatan. Siguro po sa talk na ito, mapapakita namin yung sugat ng mga may same-sex attraction. Di po ibig sabihin nun, um, masugatan po kami o sila. Lahat po tayo may sugat. At ang gusto rin pong iparating ay yung Samaritano po na tumutulong sa atin ay walang hihigit pa sa kanya sa ehemplo ng Diyos po, ni Jesus. Siya po talaga yung, sa karanasan din po namin, siya po yung tumutulong sa amin. And sa atin naman po lahat. Tinatawag niya rin po tayong maging katulad niya sa pagtrato din po sa bawat isa. Ayun po. So ang turo po ng simbahan sa pagkatao po nating lahat at sa mga taong may same-sex attraction po, hindi po sa kung kanino sila naa-attract o kung ano po yung mga nararamdaman nilang marahil kakaiba po o kung ano, kahit ano pa pong sinasabi ng mundo na kung sino sila. Ang turo po ng simbahan, tayo po ay kung paano tayo nilikha ng Panginoon at kung papaano niya tayo niligtas. Kasama po doon ang mga nakaka-experience po ng same-sex attraction. Lahat po tayo, wala po. Yung katawan natin, di na lang po nababase sa kung anong nararamdaman natin, kundi kung paano po tayo nilikha. Yun po yung Christian view. Siguro share lang din po namin na gaya po ng nalalaman niyo na siguro sa makamundong pagtuturo o sa media o sa mga maingay na news po, na ang identity po ay yun nga, kung kanino ka na-attract. Yun po, taliwas po yun sa tinuturo ng simbahan. Agree naman po kami doon. At tinatutunan po namin yan. So ang tao po ay gawa sa imahe at katulad ng Panginoon, babae at lalaki ginawa niya tayo po. Yung inclination po, ito po yung tendency ng attraction or ng kung ano pong nararamdaman natin. Iba po may tendency kung baga hindi pa po attraction sa tao, meron po na attracted sa sports, kumbaga. May iba po na attracted sa pagbabasa or kayo po na attracted sa pakikinig sa turo ng simbahan. Mga tendencies din po. May mga inclination din naman po na sa kasawiang palad po, di ba? Dahil makasalanan tayo, nahulog po tayo sa kasalanan at nakamana po tayo ng kasalanan at minsan may nagagawa po tayong hindi ayon sa plano ng Diyos. So minsan may inclination din po tayo marahil na magalit agad o matakot, maging maduwag, pwede din po, o um, magnakaw, mag ma mga gano'n po 'no. So inclination po 'yun. Ang turo po dito ay mas mataas pa rin po yung tao kaysa sa inclination. Bagamat alam po natin na humuhugis yung inclination sa tao, lagi pong mas mataas yung tao sa kanyang inclination. At yung kahulihan po ay yung action. Ito po yung mga pinasya nating gawin at ginawa po talaga natin. Ito naman po, dito na rin nagkakaroon ng moralidad o ang simbahan ay sinasabi kung magandang gawin nga ba yon o hindi. Yun po yung hinuhusga ng simbahan, yung pagpasya kung ano yung gagawin. Pero ang turo din po at natutunan po namin ay yung inclination, hindi po yon kumbaga huhusgahan agad-agad. Ang may moralidad na po na aspeto ay yung pagpasya. Kasi yun po may ano na po yun, may kaakibat na pagpasya ng tao na ito gagawin ko po ito. Yung inclination, hindi po siya hinuhusgahan. So kahit na hindi siya hinuhusgahan, ano pong dapat gawin sa tatlong to na mas mataas yung tao, sunod may inclination po ang tao at may pinapasyang mga gawin ng mga tao. So sa una po, lagi pong turo ng Panginoon na ang trato natin sa bawat tao po ay pag-ibig. At sa inclination naman po, hindi po fruitful na itago lang po ito o sarilihin. Kaya po mainam na magpakatotoo. Kaya po may mga community, may mga support group din po na nakakatulong. Saka self-discipline. Sariling din po sa sarili. Pag-control ba o patuloy na pakikipaglaban sa mga masamang inclination. Ayun po. At honest, pagiging totoo po sa sarili at sa iba. Yung pagpasya naman po ng mga gawain o yung mga gagawin natin, yung mga ginawa natin, ayun po, mababalikan natin no, na may mga ginawa po tayo na hindi natin gusto. So tama naman po yun. Marahil sinasabi po ng konsensya natin na mali itong ginawa ko dati. So yan po sinasabi rin ng simbahan na ituro din natin sa iba na mali yung gawin yon kumbaga. At kapag may tama naman pong gawin, marahil may mga nagawa tayo dati na maganda pala yung ginawa ko na yon. At natuto din po tayo nakapagbigay papuri po tayo sa Panginoon sa gawaing iyon. Ayun po, po natin, ipagpatuloy po natin at ibahagi din po natin sa iba. So yun po yung tatlong yun. Sana klaro din po. Kung may tanong po mamaya, sige lang po. Ayan po yung Christian view ng identity na natutunan po namin na gusto namin ibahagi. Ano pa po? Sabi po ng Letter to the Bishops on the Pastoral Care of Homosexual Persons in 1986, the human person made in the image and likeness of God can hardly be adequately described by a reductionist reference to his or her sexual orientation. Stop po muna ako doon kasi po ngayon sa panahon ngayon parang sa over-sexualized na media din po at sa karanasan ko rin po at siguro sa inyo din po parang pagka may attracted na sa ganitong bagay o tao ang isang tao, parang nababansagan na siyang buong pagkatao niya na yun na siya po. Pero hindi po yun ang gusto at sinulat ng simbahan at pinaglalaban po niya natin na kailangan na today the church provides a badly needed context for the care of the human person when she refuses to consider the person heterosexual or homosexual and insists that every person has a fundamental identity, the creature of God, and by grace, his child and heir to eternal life. Lahat po ito hindi natin pinagtrabahuhan o kumbaga galing sa atin, no po. Ang Panginoon talaga yung patuloy na sinasabi kung sino po tayo, kung sino po kami, kung ano po yung pagkatao namin at hindi po yun nababase lang basta sa kung anong binansag sa amin or kung kanino po kami nagkakagusto. Kakaiba man ito sa normal or sa kung ano pong pagkilala po ng ibang tao. Ganun, di lang po pala to sa tungkol din sa amin, sa lahat naman po. Lahat disabled, nagkasala, nagbalik loob sa Diyos, lahat po ayun, hindi po pagkatao natin yung mali nating ginawa dati. Kumbaga, yung pagkatao po natin, yung pagtawag at paglikha at pagsagip po sa atin ng Panginoon. Ito po. Kaya po namin tinuturo 'yon sa mga talks na 'to kasi na maganda po yung insight ni Kuya Edwin na kung ano po kasi yung pagkilala natin sa sarili natin, yun din po yung natural nating ginagawa. So kung may tao po na pagkilala niya sa sarili bading siya or baka siya or kailangan kailangan niyang magtalik sa ibang lalaki dahil yun yung pagkatao niya, yun po yung gagawin niya. May mga testimony po sa amin na dahil ngayon nga po yung pagkilala niya sa sarili niya, bale hindi na po nagkaroon ng ibang parang pagpapasya na may iba pa siyang maaring gawin. At kung di ko lang po alam kung agree kayo, pero siguro po 'di ba kapag may tao na pagkilala niya sarili sa kanya sarili ay magnanakaw, eh baka yun na lang din yung pag-iisip niya, yung magnakaw kasi ang pagkilala niya sa sarili eh magnanakaw. So, kaya po importante na talagang idiin or ipakilala or ibahagi po natin or ipakita na lahat po tayo ay anak po ng Diyos. At dahil po doon, nakikita natin kung sino po talaga tayo at ano po yung mga pwede nating gawin bilang na tinawag tayo at nilikha tayo bilang mga anak po ng Diyos. Ayun po. So sa catechism din po, medyo patapos na po yung part ko. Ang sinasabi po dito, Catechism 2332, sexuality affects all aspects of the human person in the unity of his body and soul. It especially concerns affectivity, the capacity to love and to procreate, and in a more general way, the aptitude for forming bonds of communion with others. Bale, um, bilang tao po, di lang po kami or tayo kaluluwa, di lang din po tayo katawan. So, kumbaga, ang tao po parehong may kaluluwa at katawan at kung paano niya po mapakilala o mabahagi yung sarili niya, lagi pong kaakibat doon yung pagiging lalaki o babae po namin. I mean, natututunan din po namin to. So, dahil po pala doon, uh, uh, um, kung paano kami magmahal, laging kasama doon yung pagiging pagkalalaki ko, for example. Or kung si Marco po, kung magmamahal po siya, laging kasama doon yung pagiging pagkalalaki niya. Kaya hindi, natututo po kami na hindi isipin na pag nagmahal kami, hindi kasama yung pagiging pagkakaroon namin ng kasarian. Pero ganun din po, yung pag-ibig po kasi, natututunan po yan. So hindi po na pagka silang po sa atin, masasabi na po natin na marunong na tayong umibig. Capacity po siya. So parang skill po siya sa pagkatuto namin na pinag-aaralan siya, nakikita siya sa mga magagandang ehemplo. So, kumbaga sa may mga same-sex attraction na tao, kailangan din po nila makakita ng mga um, ka, 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 kapareho nila ng kasarian na marunong magmahal, na magaling magmahal, na na marunong magbigay ng kanyang sarili kasama ang kasarian niya, parang ganun po. So, ang sabi po dito, in a more general way, the aptitude for forming bonds of communion with others. Yung procreation po kasi, di ba po, masasabi mong talagang magaling ka rin magmahal o naibigay mo yung buong sarili mo sa sa marriage po, di ba? Kasi papangako po kayo, sila, tayo na naibibigay natin ng buong buo yung sarili natin sa isa pang tao na siya lang. At dahil doon nagbubunga yun ng isa pang tao kasi mahal na mahal natin yung kapwa, yung isa na yon na kaya natin na binibigyan tayo ng biyaya ng Diyos na maging fruitful yung pag-ibig na yon. Bukod naman po doon, ang pag-ibig din po laging ano po kumbaga pakikilahok o etong communion with others. Wala naman po siguro may gustong mapag-isa. Kami rin po, kami rin po, lalo na po kami. So, um, um, aptitude, so kailangan din po naming matutong makibahagi ng aming sarili sa ibang tao. Ayun. And with others. With others po. Ayun lang yun sa first part ko. Ang gusto kong i-share, ayoko mag-share masyado kasi makulay po ang buhay ko. Nahiya din ako. Pero baka po may tanong kayo mamaya, sasagutin ko po. Ang masasabi ko lang po, ang may time na talagang na ang naisip kong track ko po or susundin ko is yung mga nakikita ko sa Instagram, sa social media na dahil nagkakagusto po ako sa lalaki, kailangan ko pong baguhin yung kasarian ko. Patok po kasi sa YouTube tsaka sa mga Instagram yung nagbabago po ng anyo. So, from nagmumukhang lalaki, nagmumukhang babae. Ayun po. Dati naisip ko yung gawin. Pero buti na lang po siguro na inunahan ako ng Panginoon kasi nung grade school and high school ko, pinag-aral po ako sa Catholic school. And nung time po na nagpapasya akong magpalit anyo o di mo kasi mababago talaga yung kasarian mo eh. Parang kaya mapapalitan mo lang yung anyo. So magmumukhang babae lang. Nung oras na magpapasya na sana akong ganun, naisip ko parang mas hindi ako panatag at mas okay pa ako dati na nasa Catholic school po ako. Bagamat hindi ko masabi yung mga same-sex attraction ko, parang mas okay pa ako nun kaysa nito na sinusundan ko yung akala kung saan magiging masaya ako. So doon po pumasok yung courage. Nabigyan po ako ng opportunity na alamin talaga kung ano yung turing ng simbahan sa mga taong nakakaranas nga po ng same-sex attraction. Kasi dati wala po akong tao o takot din po akong ikwento siya kahit po sa pare, kahit po sa mga kilala ko naman at nakikita ko na Katoliko talaga. So sa courage po nakahanap po ako ng same-minded or mga tao din po na nakakaranas tulad ko. At doon parang nabalik ako ng Panginoon kung saan papunta na sana ako sa pangit po pala na daan. Nabalik niya po ako sa kanya. So, yun po yung self-intro and testimony ko. Maraming salamat po. Bigay ko na po kay Marco.
Hello? Narinig ba ako? Okay.
Yes, bro.
Alright. So, thank you, Rap. Si Rap po yung aming servant general po sa Courage. So, siya po yung nag-oversee po ng lahat po ng activities po namin and programs po ng Courage. So, yun po. So, yun discuss po ni Rap yung first part. Yung second part naman po, I'm going to discuss yung accompaniment. So, how could we accompany our brothers and sisters who experience same-sex attraction? But before that, I'm going to give my self-introduction and a little bit of testimony. So, sabi nga po ni Brother Jerome kanina, so I was born in Manila but I was raised in Cagayan de Oro. So, marunong po ako mag-Bisaya. Kung may mga Bisaya po dyan, pero yung Bisaya. And then, I have 2 sisters and then a younger brother. And my mother is an OFW. So, since 2 years old po ako, umalis na po si mama for abroad. And growing up, I didn't have that kind of mother figure. Yung taking parang motherly care and love. But also my dad is kind of emotionally distant. So hindi po siya masyado talagang engaging with yung talagang emotional care po sa akin. But he took care of us yung daily needs and yung mga ano. But then most of people who have SSA has that kind of defensive detachment. So when they will not kumbaga get the emotional bond that they need, so they would detach. So yun po yung nangyari sa I emotionally detached with my father. And also yung abandonment. So we were parang nagkahiwalay kami for kind of many years then. So that aggravated my longing to have like a male figure or a father figure in my life. And yung 8 years old, so parang my mother decided that we pumunta kami sa Cagayan de Oro. So yun po yung medyo kumbaga I had that emotional conflict with my life. So I'm longing to have that kind of family and parental bonds with my parents. And then I continued my college, elementary there. So during my elementary years, doon na po naglabasan yung attractions for with the guys, with my classmates. And then medyo na-judge po ako ng bata ko kasi nga when I was living with my relatives in Cagayan de Oro, so sabi nung pinsan ko na kasi she observed that I have effeminate, parang ganun. So sabi niya, huwag ka daw magpabayad kasi nga mga bayad daw hindi nakakalangit. So medyo I was offended by that comment kasi nga experiencing those kinds of attractions or the effeminacy that I have, parang it was not my fault eh. Parang it just came out of me. So parang, and I was also afraid of myself kasi nga, why should I be judged, di ba, by God, by just having this na hindi ko naman ginusto, parang ganun. And then, high school, crushes, mga guys, ganun. And then, during high school, parang I asked God, Lord, please remove this kind of feelings and attraction kasi I don't want this. I don't want to be condemned. I don't want to go to hell for that matter. Parang ganun. So, and then, ginawa ko, nagsimbang gabi ako para talaga matanggal yung mga emotion na yun. But then, nothing happened. So parang that time, lumayo ako kay God. Parang I felt na, wala nang pakialam si Lord sa akin. So parang slowly, kumbaga, lumayo ako kay Lord because of that. And then, getting in college, so yun nandun na naglabasan yung mga vices like pornography and masturbation and everything. And then siguro yung later part ng college life ko, I started to experiment homosexual stuffs. And then, but also during that time, during my college, the last year of my college, parang I was very conflicted with my emotions and my feelings. So sabi ko, parang napagod na ako sa kaka-struggle ng parang So why not, I just said to myself, why not, kumbaga, accept these feelings and parang, accept for who I am, kung sino ba talaga ako. So yun doon na nag-start na parang I labeled myself as a homosexual, parang ganun. So wala pang LGBT nun, wala pang mga so I labeled myself that way. And then yun nga sinasabi ni Rap kanina, no? Yung when your identity, parang it became my identity. So when you identify yourself as a homosexual or LGBT, so parang, di ba, being begets doing. So parang since you identify yourself, so I cannot help myself but engage in homosexual acts. And then it aggravated when I graduated to college and nagkatrabaho na ako, so malayo ako sa bahay. So parang, I have the freedom and the luxury of doing what I want. And then that was the time that my father died. And with this emotion and feelings, and then kumbaga yung pagkamatay niya, so hindi na resolve yung emotional conflict ko with him. So it really pushed me to parang it get the ball rolling to the lifestyle. And yun nga, partying, parang different, parang men. But then I settled to like relationship again. So I had parang 5 relationships. And then I have a live-in partner before na gay din. So, siguro pinaka-gist nung behavior ko is kind of yung talaga yung affective longing talaga with a man, parang a male figure na to fill up this pain and this ache that I feel. So I felt na by pursuing the lifestyle, I'll be able to feel yung mga kulang na sa puso ko. So yung like a guy who's providing or parang yung physical and emotional bond na hindi ko na experience with my father. And yun, so yun yung naging drive ko on my relationship with other men. So nagpalipat-lipat ako from one relationship to another, and then siguro there's one relationship na parang I really had ka ng broken-hearted, parang so I questioned what is love, parang gano'n. So naghanap ako ng true meaning of love kasi hindi ko nahanap yung kasi when you're in a relationship, parang very lang siya eh. Parang very short lang. So parang maramdaman mo emotionally elating, and then physically, di ba, parang, and then it would pass, parang nawawala lang din. So parang with that relationship, yung na-broken heart ako dun sa relationship, parang I felt that ano ba talaga yung pagmamahal? Yun lang ba talaga pag magka-jowa ka or something like that? So yun lang yung context nun. So talagang doon na nag-start na I long for a true, kumbaga, meaning of love. And then nagka-problema ako sa work. So parang, kasi before, parang nung nag-board exam ako, parang nag-novena, yung nagbalik loob, kunwari, para lang maano ni Lord, para lang makapasa sa board exam. And then when I had a problem with my career, parang naalala ko na okay pala, maybe I could, pwede ulit siguro lumapit kay God para magkaroon ulit ako ng job na gusto ko. So yun, so doon na nag-start na nag-devotee na ako ng Nazareno. So everyday na nasa Quiapo ko, hinihingin ko kay Lord na bigyan ako ng engineering job na gusto ko. And then it was granted. Ang nangyari, parang sinabi ko, Lord, sige, since binigay mo to sa akin ng work, parang naman ata ako na, okay Lord, sige, magsisimba na ako every Sunday. So parang ganun. So parang ganun yung relationship ko kay Lord, parang transactional lang. And then there was one time na 2011 na parang during the Feast of the Nazarene, parang sabi ko, okay, I will stay up until makabalik yung Nazareno. And during that time, nung bumalik ng Nazareno, parang I felt really God's presence in my heart. Parang I was very touched by God's presence during that feast. Parang ngayon ko lang naranasan yung ganung experience. So after that, parang doon na nagkaroon ng sense of closeness to God. Parang doon ako nagkaroon ng sense of closeness to God. And then I got interested with studying my Catholic faith. So I studied my Catholic faith, and yun. So parang nag-confession ako, and then I received kanong kumbaga God's mercy after 16 years na I was away from the church. And then during communion time, so it was the first time that I was in the state of grace na habang nagko-communion. So parang I really felt God's presence in my heart. And also during the confession, parang I didn't feel judged by the priest. So parang yung overwhelming feeling of love and acceptance na naramdaman ko kay Lord. So yun ang nag-push sa akin to really, kumbaga, come back to the faith. And then siguro after sometime, siguro about a year, kasi during that time when I have this kind of conversion experience, I still have a relationship with another man. But then God gave me the grace for about a year na para to really get out of this relationship and pursue a chaste lifestyle. So doon na nag-start yung kumbaga conversion ko. And then I asked the Lord kung paano ko siya masaserve. So naging active na ako sa Legion of Mary, and then 2016 I became active in Courage Apostolate, because during that time I was kind of slipping back to my old behavior. So Courage actually helped me na ma-regain back yung chastity na na pinupursue ko. Tapos yung priest ng Courage, they were very gentle and kind. Yung fatherly love ng priest is talaga nararamdaman ko. So yun yung parang kulang na hinahanap ko rin, yung fatherly love. And then yung presence ni God talaga na very intimate, na hindi ko nahanap sa ibang mga lalaki, parang ganun. So parang doon ko naramdaman nung nasa simbahan ako. And then yung other men in the church and in my work, no, parang God sent me men who would accompany me, na hindi lang naman yung parang nire-realize ko, hindi lang pala parang you can just be close to other men by friendship. Hindi lang yung every time lang na romantic or physical or sexual, something like that. But you could be chastely connected to other men. So yun yung pinarealize sa akin ni Lord during that time. So thank God for it's been 11 years since I've been away from the lifestyle. So it was really God's grace, and I'm kumbaga testifying that it's possible really to kumbaga switch, kumbaga turn to God or pursue a holy and chaste life. So yun po. So yun po yung aking short, hindi po short. So yun po yung testimony ko. So I would proceed po dun sa accompaniment po na part po nung namin. Next slide. Ayun. So let's proceed po dun sa how can we accompany our brethren with same-sex attraction. So, parang lahat po tayo tinatawag for accompaniment, di ba? Lahat po tayo tinatawag for accompaniment, and yun nga sinasabi ni Pope Francis, di ba, na yun, hindi tayo nag-iisa sa journey na to, so we should accompany our brothers and sisters who are struggling as well. So especially if you know someone who are struggling with same-sex attraction, they too are, kumbaga, must be accompanied as well in their journey. So ano pa ba yung connection ng parang homosexuality with family and life? So parang since this ministry as well is actually family and life, di ba? So pwede po natin yung actually we're just abiding by what Pope Francis told us or teach us in Amoris Laetitia in 250, di ba? So sabi nung Synod Fathers, no, and Pope Francis, no, during the Synod, we discussed the situation of families whose members include persons who experience same-sex attraction, a situation not easy either for parents or for children. Such families should be given respectful pastoral guidance so that those who manifest a homosexual orientation can receive the assistance they need to understand and fully carry out God's will in their lives. So as a courage po, we actually provide this guidance and help for families. Actually, we do have encourage chapter. So this chapter accompanies parents or loved ones who has a son or daughter or a husband or wife who experiences same-sex attraction. So we provide also that kind of guidance, and also to pastoral ministers such as yourself, para po, kasi po, di ba, when we have brothers and sisters who have SSA or same-sex attraction, they come to our ministry, parang minsan kasi they were estranged with their families, parang nagiging na tayo parang nagiging second family na tayo, di ba? So we also must know, di ba, how to provide pastoral care for them, kasi parang nagiging second family na tayo, di ba? So yun po yung importance po ng nung doctrine na po yun. So we're actually invited to minister to our brothers with same-sex attraction. Next slide. So yung steps po ng pastoral accompaniment in general is just following the example of Jesus. So kanina po in example po ni Rap yung Good Samaritan on how, kumbaga, parang Christian anthropology of the wound and kumbaga yung identity natin in Christ. The second part po we would want to reflect on the gospel or the encounter of Jesus with the Samaritan woman on the well on the Gospel of John. So yung pastoral way po is just following that gospel, no? When Jesus talked to the Samaritan woman at the well. So paano po ba yung ginawa ni Jesus doon? So parang papunta si Jesus sa Galilee from Judea. So usually yung mga Hudyo iniiwasan yung Samaria. But then parang Jesus intentionally parang pumunta siya doon sa Samaria mismo to meet this woman. And then paano ba si Jesus nag-start doon? So just summarizing this gospel, parang he started in a friendly manner. No? So parang nung nakita niya yung woman na nag-iigib na tanghaling tapat, Jesus approached that woman first. He make that parang first approach, di ba? And sabi niya, would you give me a drink? Parang, so medyo na off guard yung babae. So and then, kasi nga, di ba, during the time of the Jews, yung Samaritans are considered impure. And as well, woman pa siya, so parang hindi siya dapat nakapag-usap sa babae, much as well as Samaritan, di ba? So parang most Jews would judge them. But then iba yung ginawa ni Jesus, it was very, kumbaga, ahead of his time, very revolutionary yung ginawa niya na he humbled himself. And asked, strike the first conversation, and then yun nga then their conversation, and then inalok ni Jesus yung Samaritan woman ng living water, di ba? So parang pag uminom ka dito sa balon na to, mauuhaw ka agad, pero yung bibigay ko sa iyo is yung living water na hindi ka na mauuhaw ulit. So parang na-entice yung babae, so parang, Lord, please give me this water. And then sabi niya, go call your husband. So parang ganun. Tapos sabi niya, So ni-reveal na ngayon nung babae na hindi wala siyang husband, but sabi ni Jesus, you're right in saying that you don't have a husband, but you have parang 5 husbands, parang ganun. So parang when Jesus kumbaga predicted what she is doing, parang she believed that Jesus is the Messiah and the prophet. So parang we could also parang a structure or parang a step-by-step guide on how to accompany our brothers by just using this this story of Jesus' encounter with the Samaritan woman. Next slide. Next. So give me a drink, ibig sabihin, di ba parang si Jesus yung unang nag-strike ng conversation. Siya yung unang nag-offer ng friendship dun sa Samaritan woman. And the second point is the water I would give. So parang dino ni Jesus yung Samaritan woman to the living water, which is Jesus himself. Diba si Jesus himself is the living water that we all need. And siya yung source ng living water na yun. And then finally, when he was able to draw the woman with friendship and with the living water, and that was the time that Jesus kumbaga proclaimed that parang taught the woman the truth about herself. So tsaka na siya kumbaga kinorek yung mga sinful lifestyle ng babae, ng Samaritan woman. So siguro pinakamahalagang tanong doon, like Jesus the Good Shepherd, di ba? Are we making an effort to become their friend? So yung mga brothers and sisters natin na who experience same-sex attraction, di ba? So are we making an effort to become their friend? So parang si Pope Francis din, di ba? So kung you could actually observe him, very pastoral approach na parang siya talaga yung na-initiate ng conversation for especially our brothers and sisters na who are LGBT. So parang si Pope Francis po talaga yung pupunta dun or makausap sa kanila para lang to draw them closer to God. Second reflection point is the water I would give. So ibig sabihin, the water Jesus gave is the living water in which yun po yung divine life ni Jesus, di ba? Yun po yung i-offer natin. Pagkatapos natin i-offer yung friendship, we offer them the living water, which is Jesus Christ himself. So paano po ba natin gagawin? So we invite them to LDS, di ba? So meron po kayong LDS, so just invite them to experience and hear God's word. Hindi naman po kailangan na agad-agad correct natin sila agad. Just invite them friendly sa grupo natin sa LDS, and then yun. And slowly, siguro ma-change yung heart nila through the word of God. And then also encourage them to have lectio divina or, di ba, or parang devotion on themselves, di ba, para to grow them closer to God through His word in the Bible. And secondly is the sacramental life, di ba? So, syempre yung pinaka-potent po ng church is yung sacrament of confession and communion. So, di ba sabi nga po ni Pope Francis yung the church is like a field hospital. So, parang yun po yung sabi niya. So, yun po yung since field hospital po yung church, ang pinaka-potent po na medicine is the sacrament of confession and communion, di ba? So, dun po natin sila i-draw when we invite them to the Word of God, as well we invite them to the sacraments. And then devotions. So, marami po sa ating brothers and sisters na LGBT or SSA po na may devotion na. So, parang Lanaval season na naman, so mga Marian season. So, marami pong ganyan na yung mga LGBT na nagde-devote kay Mama Mary. So we could use that devotion. Me as well, I'm a devotee of Nazarene and Sabaclaran. So we could use that devotion to draw them closer to God, di ba? So meron na kumbaga, God is already working in them through devotion. So if they don't have one, though, we could actually promote them na for them to be closer to Mama Mary or closer to God. Kasi usually pag SSA po, usually Marian talaga, parang medyo mas closer po talaga agad kay Mama Mary kasi they identify maybe of the feminine spirituality kasi ganun po. So we could use that na parang we could tell them na they could imitate, di ba, yung virtues ni Mama Mary, especially her humility and her purity. Next slide. And then after that, when we kumbaga establish friendship and then we draw them to the living water, the Word of God and the sacraments, and then that's the time that we could kumbaga charitably approach them about the truth of their lives, di ba? So yun po, siguro po yung friendship po kailangan po siguro maging authentic kasi minsan wag po siguro yung way na parang we just draw them just to convert them. Parang ganun, medyo apologetic po na. Pero sa ministry po ng accompaniment, hindi po ganun eh. Kasi it would took a long time for you to establish really the trust and the confidence. So ganun po yung way ng accompaniment. But then we have the obligation, di ba? When ask God the right time to preach to them. So ito po yung si Lord po magbibigay ng way on how to, kumbaga, when they're ready to accept the truth of their life. So we could, tell them their own situations. So, yun nga, sinasabi po sa catechism, sa turo po ng simbahan, lahat po tayo tinatawag sa pagiging chaste. So, there is a call, universal call to chastity. So, that's in Catechism 2348. And kung lahat po tinatawag sa pagiging chaste, so wag po tayong magtaka na those who have homosexual inclination are also called to chastity. So that's in Catechism 2359. So sa church wala pong division, but lahat po tayo tinatawag for chastity. And next slide. So yung chastity po naman has two parts. So meron pong tinatawag na integrity of the person and the integrality of the gift. Integrity of the person, so parang successful integration. Kasi po sa simbahan, di ba, yung turo ng simbahan, we're not just body, we're not just soul, but we're body and soul, complete and whole, di ba? So unlike dun sa ideologies ng LGBT, kasi nga parang pinaghihiwalay nila parang bisexual, homosexual, or transgender. So parang medyo hiwalay yung katawan mo sa spirituality mo. Ang turo ng simbahan, hindi dapat hiwalay yung katawan mo, ginagawa ng katawan mo sa kumbaga works of the spirit. So dapat siya whole and united. And integrality of the gift, ibig sabihin, by being chaste, you can be a gift to another person. So ang yung chastity po is actually geared towards the gift of person. Sabi nga ni Pope John Paul II, no, only the chaste man and a chaste woman can truly love. So kasi nga parang hindi divided yung heart mo, di ba? At yung chaste man and chaste woman can only truly love God and truly love his neighbor kasi wala siyang ulterior motives, no? Parang he could really will the good of the person. Next slide. So yung model po natin ng love, 'di ba, yung kung ano po yung pinakita ni Jesus sa pag-alay niya ng buhay, no? No greater love than this, but to lay down one's life for one's friend. So yung ginawa ni Jesus para sa atin. So yun yung model natin of loving other person. So hindi po natin malilay down yung life natin to God or to other person, no? If we're not chaste, 'di ba? Kasi medyo ang daming nangyayari sa heart natin pag ganun. And then yung it has two components, no? It has the vertical yung cross, diba? May vertical, may horizontal. So yung vertical is the obedience to the Father, diba? When we love God, we obey God and His commandments. And then yung horizontal is the willing the good of other people. So parang extended, parang, diba, arms outstretched, diba? Kaya nga naka-outstretch yung hand ni Lord because it opens up for all. So yun po yung. And okay, so let's go sa offenses against chastity. So yung ano po yung opposite ng chastity is lust. Yun po yung vice of lust. So basically, any activities outside of marriage is considered a sin. So in Catechism 2351, so enumerate po doon lahat po ng sins against chastity, which is it is a morally disordered. Ibig sabihin, hindi po siya ordered according to God's plan. When your sexual faculties being used to other activities other than what God has intended for it. That's why it is morally disordered. So we can see there, so masturbation, fornication, pornography, prostitution, rape, and lastly, homosexual acts. Acts lang po ay yung lang po, yun nga, yung activities, sexual activities. But the church teaches that yung inclinations are not a sin itself. Yung inclination or yung attractions are not sin itself, but only the acts. Yun lang po yung mga sexual acts lang po yung ng simbahan. So, dapat po maging holistic po tayo. For example, pag meron po tayong member na na may SSA or LGBT, di ba? Or meron pumasok sa simbahan na LGBT, na yung damit na babae or something like that. Parang hindi po natin sila i-judge kasi, di ba? Parang dapat holistic po yung ano natin, yung approach po natin na huwag po natin hayaan yung ibang members din po natin, yung makakilala natin na mag-fall into fornication, for example, or masturbation or porn, parang ganun. So, dapat hindi lang po hindi mo tayo mag-focus dun sa person with SSA, but everyone, di ba? We must take care of everyone that needs help, especially in the area of chastity and living a pure life po. So yun po. Next part po would be rap again.
Ayun po. Thank you, Marco. So, malapit na po matapos. So, church's vision po sa mga homosexual persons, we are called to chastity by the virtues of self-mastery that teach us inner freedom, at times by support of disinterested friendship, by prayer and sacramental grace, we can and should gradually and resolutely approach Christian perfection. So kung may kilala po kayo na nakakaranas ng same-sex attraction, tinatawag din po sila na maging perfect as our Lord is perfect. So that's CCC 2359. Ito lang po yung short history ng courage. So Catholic Apostolate po ito for persons with same-sex attraction. Nag-start po ito noong 1980 sa New York City nung kasagsagan ng cases ng HIV. May pastor po doon na naisip niya na kailangan ng community ng mga taong may SSA kasi nagsisimatayan na po. So, nadala po to sa Philippines noong 1995. And ang canonical status po nito, hindi po to religious order. Diocesan Clerical Public Association po, meaning may mga priest po kami na nagli-lead nito. Priestly led yung apostolate po namin. Ito lang po yung Facebook group kung gusto niyo pong puntahan. Courage Philippines. Yes po. Ito po yung email ni Kuya Edwin, number niya. Si Kuya Edwin po pala is president starting 2016 ata or 15 po. Ayun, siya rin po yung nagbigay sa amin ng parang structure ng grupo namin na laging may activity every week, may pilgrimage, may work of mercy every year. May work of mercy po, bisita sa San Lazaro Hospital or sa dun sa Brothers of Mercy sa Bulacan, sa Hospicio St. John, Hospicio de San Juan. Ayan po, so may the Lord bless us po and keep us. Thank you, Sir Jerome.